Well, it's a part of freedom. Some people don't really seem to understand the concept that this place was based on the ability of the people to have their human rights respected. And if you have rights and values and you don't have the means to defend them, then they don't really matter as much. And so in the interwoven framework of this place, there's a concentrated effort to make sure that the right of the people to keep and bear arms is respected. We can't separate that from the liberty conversation. It doesn't make sense. It's actually an oxymoron to even attempt to. So at these festivals, it's very important to make sure that that's at the forefront. Because again, our founding fathers to this place, with their contradictions, everybody has contradictions, they understood that. And coming from a tyrannical space and a tyrannical government, they understood the importance of that. So there's 2 points to that. One, the gun control debate was done when the Second Amendment was written. It's not a debate anymore. It never was a debate. There's people that'll pretend as if they're an authority. The framework of this place is clear. Government is not the authority. So when they're asking for more gun control or asking us to support it, I say that the government and the state is morally bankrupt. This is the same government that just sold guns to the Sinaloa cartel, Operation Fast and Furious. So they are not responsible, safe and responsible firearms owners. And the construct of this nation is that we don't ask the government. The conversation was done when the Second Amendment was written. Now, in regards to people being tricked into believing that this Second Amendment conversation is actually a thing, because 3D printers and the codes exist and they're out there. No, there will be no more legislation that could have stopped anything at Uvalde, anything at Buffalo. What the gun control, actually, you know what? That's wrong. The gun control that would have worked or did work to actually stop the Buffalo shooter is somebody there with a good understanding of sight alignment, sight picture, grip, trigger press, and without disturbing the sight picture as they shoot the bad guy. That's the type of gun control that I want to legislate. I want to train and make sure that all American citizens have a working understanding of safe and responsible firearms ownership, that if a weirdo comes in to Uvalde, to Buffalo or wherever, and attempts to take life, there's a bunch of free Americans there to stop that threat. Simple and plain. And we saw in Uvalde police officers, cowards, standing around for over an hour while a weirdo did what he did and took life. That's the exact reason why this so-called gun control debate was over back in the day, and the actual answer of more gun control, meaning more safe and responsible firearms owners being there to defend life, is the only type of gun control that's acceptable to us at Black Guns Matter. There is no such thing as gun violence. It's just violence. And overwhelmingly, when the bad guy is met by good guys and gals with firearms, they put that bad guy in, and if we use mass shootings as the litmus test, those guys are either taken into custody when someone with a firearm stops them, or when they are arrested, they wind up taking their own life. And I'm 100% cool with them choosing to take their own life as opposed to taking the life of the innocent. So, no, there is no answer for violence other than good people willing to be extremely violent and exercise extreme prejudice towards evil men and evil women. And let's be honest, mostly it's evil men. Let's just be honest. And we have to meet them. You know, when you have a guy walking around a school stalking little children and creating a hostage scenario and killing them, good guys should be on the hunt. That person gets hunted at that point. And so that's how we solve this. And it's very clear. The areas that have more respect for that Second Amendment and more great citizens there to stop those threats, great law enforcement officers, first responders that want to do the actual job, then we get the job done. And that's the overall answer. I have a human right. The beautiful thing about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is this was just codified human rights. It doesn't grant any government any type of power. The framers of this place just said, these are human, natural rights that you're born with, and we as a nation are going to recognize it. So me personally, I don't care if people want to say they want to repeal the Second Amendment. You know, it's always very interesting to me, the people saying they want to appeal it, and they have the process of doing it. They could get 2/3 of Congress to ratify it. It's out there. The issue to me is these are the same people that if you ask them, if you said, okay, Cool. Your security detail and law enforcement, which are American citizens, are you okay with those people being subject to those same rules and restrictions as well? Then you'll get a resounding, well, it's got to be different. It's got to be different. The police have to have a firearm because there's bad guys out there. Well, that's the same reason why I carry a firearm. And again, these are codified human and natural rights, and I don't care what the unconstitutional statute would attempt to tell me. These things are a list of checks on government, not the other way around. So there will never be a time in American history where the American people will not own firearms. How are you going to get them from us? How are you going to get them? You can fuck around and find out, but the reality is no, and it's supposed to be that way. Anyone that doesn't understand that basic concept should actually crack open the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and have a better understanding of the reason why this is important for safe and responsible gun ownership.